one of my favorite actresses teams up with one of my least favorite actors to portray the horrible crimes of Charles Cullen. Let's talk about The Good Nurse. Hey guys, Dan here. This is Dan Reviews It. Welcome to my spoiler-free review for the new Netflix film, The Good Nurse. This is streaming right now, and it stars two Oscar winners. Jessica Chastain, fresh off her win for The Eyes of Tammy Faye as Best Actress, and Eddie Redmayne, who I don't care for him, but he won years ago for The Theory of Everything, portraying Stephen Hawking. So both real-life people that they portrayed that won them Oscar Gold. And they team up for this movie, The Good Nurse. It is a true crime drama based on the real-life serial killer, Charles Cullen. Horrible stuff there. So before we dive into this movie, I want to welcome you into Dan Reviews It. Thank you for finding this video. Tons of great stuff on the channel here, including most of the major Netflix releases. So you can check out my reviews of all of those on the channel here. Please consider subscribing or like and comment down below. That always helps the channel out too, so appreciate that. All right, let's dive into this story. So basically these guys are playing nurses. Chastain plays Amy, who is a single mother with two kids who not only, is trying to keep it all together with work and family, but she's got some health issues too with her heart, which gets talked about a little bit towards the beginning of the movie, gets really shuffled to the back burner in the second half for sure of the film. And she has become fast friends with one of the new nurses, Charles Cullen. He works the night shift with her, and they become, pretty close friends. In fact, he ends up coming over a lot and helps her with the kids. He is barred from seeing his own kids currently, so definitely takes to her children, sort of as a replacement, I guess, for his own. But anyway, some murders start happening at the hospital. One specifically that triggers the police to investigate. And in that investigation, Amy realizes that there is sort of a discrepancy in some of the paperwork, and specifically mentions, well, it can't be Charles. He's with me in the night shift. He's a good dude, But discrepancies keep happening. And as a matter of fact, she helps them figure out what is going on, because the hospital is pretty mum about the whole thing. And that's where we get into a little bit of the political nature of the movie, about specifically like how hospitals will sometimes cover for their own, as opposed to, really helping out the victims of, a hospital death or something like that has gone completely awry due to human error. But in this case, human, not error, human whatever, human on purpose, I guess they could say. Anyway, Jessica Chastain, she is one of my favorites. I've followed her really since the Lawless and Zero Dark 30 and all of these great movies. And she's been nominated many times at the Oscars, but Tammy Faye is the one that did it for her this past year. And Eddie Redmayne, I really think he is about the same in every movie. He does that sort of waifish kind of thing that he sort of perfected in The Danish Girl, and then continues to this day. I think he's most famous probably now for the Fantastic Beasts films. He plays Newt Scamander in those. And I will say, this is certainly not the one that is getting me on board to say, oh, maybe I've misjudged him. No, but anybody can give, a decent performance. And I think this is a pretty decent performance, especially in the last couple of scenes. We really see the Redmayne acting chops. But the thing is, we don't usually see him playing a villain. He was a villain in Jupiter Ascending pretty, hilariously, but that was such a bad movie. But here he's playing this real life serial killer, and nobody knows for a little bit, and so he's got to play that angle of being a nice guy, and I don't know if this is the way that this guy really looked, but he looks like he's like 13 in this movie. He's got this like little boy haircut and whatever. It plays into the whole vibe that I always get from Eddie Redmayne. This waifish kind of thing. But maybe it is truer to life than I realize with this particular character. I think the script is actually one of the weaker elements in this movie. Chastain is giving a very good performance. Is it up to some of her best? Absolutely not. But she's been on a little bit, other than Tammy Faye, she's been on a little bit of a bad streak lately. She's trying her hand at some different things, including some action titles. And the 355 I've not gotten to review yet, but I've watched it. That'll be sort of as I review some of the year's movies later on that I missed. But that was not very good. And then last year or the year before, she did this movie called Ava that was like terrible. I might have even failed that one. So she's been on a little bit of a cold streak for me, other than Tammy Faye. And this one definitely, it rises above some of the recent stuff she's done, but the script just is not quite sharp enough. You don't have, like in Molly's Game, for example, she was under the tutelage of Aaron Sorkin's words, and those are always so powerful and great. And there's no like scene here where she's stamping her hand on the table and saying, no, I want to get to the bottom of this, whatever. Maybe that would have been more corny. Maybe that would have been less authentic to things that really happened. I don't know. But the police here, who are played by Noah Emmerich and Nambi Asumuga, they're almost non-characters. Like, they're okay, I guess, and their hands are tied a little bit in a couple of scenes by the department or by the hospital unions and stuff. But there's nothing almost to feed off of in some of these scenes with Chastain. They're not giving her much, and I think that's more of a script problem than anything. I've been watching actually The Americans. Noah Emmerich is in that. And I think I just started season 4 of that, and he's really good in it. But here again, it feels a little bit more muted, just like Chastain herself. The Amy character I love, and I'm rooting for, but it wasn't as exciting as I wanted it to be. Really until maybe, the last couple of scenes. However, look, there's a lot of true crime shows where we see a lot of blood and gore and the people actually committing the crimes and stuff like that. We don't really get that here because it's sort of like silent killer type crimes, which you'll understand, I guess, when you watch the movie. I don't want to spoil things, but yeah, there's no like gore in this. This is a true crime movie that you can, kind of appreciate, without all of the blood and guts and stuff that goes with that sometimes. So anyway, I think this movie is good, not great. I will leave The Good Nurse with a B-. Better script definitely would have helped. All right, thanks for watching Dan Reviews It. We'll see you next time.